In this new era of technology, it's never been easier to put our social lives on display for all to see. This phenomenon has created a new social currency that pays dividends to the ones that faithfully pour their personal lives into our collective view. In the process, we have placed a premium on the way we socially interact with each other through technology. Its value is driven in part by our desire to be everywhere. With each new ping from our mobile devices, we are summoned to attend a meeting, an appointment, a social event, or an obligatory family function. Our attendance at all of these events adds to the sum of our social currency, one that we are painstakingly tasked with maintaining. Armed with a few surfboards and our kites, Keahi de Aboitiz, Rio Stevens and I set out to explore what kind of value one can place on being far from the rigors of social obligation. We wanted to explore and perhaps challenge the value that is placed on being ever present, to find out what is the value of being nowhere. So we set sail for a group of islands which are south of the equator and west of nowhere. This is not to say that the location of our destination is insignificant, or that the people who inhabit these islands are anonymous. It's quite the opposite. But our target, on the corner of the horizon, is a place far removed from our hyper-connected lives. Our vessel, the Discovery, is a highly capable catamaran captained by Sion Crockford and supported by Michaela Lazar, the first mate. They are on a 5-year odyssey called the Cabrinha Quest, a journey to the remote regions of the Pacific to explore and take pleasure in its kite and surf potential. Sion and his crew are their absolute best when they stray far from the beaten path. Sion comes alive whenever the anchor is lifted from the depths of the sea or the bow lines are cast from the safety of the dock. When on board Discovery, you're part of the crew. And tonight, this means everyone has to take part in the night watch on the first crossing. It's here, in the dark, as the rest of the boat is asleep, that you are confronted with the real sense of who you are and where you are. It's here, as you watch the groundswell pass under the boat under fragmented shafts of moonlight, that you begin to detach from your daily regime and start looking towards a simpler existence ahead. As dawn breaks over the capitulating horizon, you begin to see the tops of the tiny atolls that make up this vast archipelago. Our trip has no defined itinerary. Our only plan is to get far away, into a remote area with unhindered wind and swell. As we approach the pass leading into the first of many atolls, we are met with a narrow passage with palm-fringed edges. The first forerunners of a new swell are just beginning to show their faces. The tide is extremely low, exposing the edge of the reef that we hope to be surfing over in a few hours. This is a dangerous landscape to call your playground. The reef is sharp and unforgiving when you bounce off the bottom. However, nearly all surfers will agree on one thing. These reefs play a vital role in the health of the ocean and are a valuable resource worth protecting. It's always encouraging to see places like this, where the water is clear and the reef is alive and well. Boat life in a place like this is as relaxed or as busy as you want it to be. There's no shortage of things to do, and the scenery here is beyond spectacular. While waiting for the swell to arrive, we take advantage of the stiff trade winds that constantly blow through this chain of islands. Kitesurfing is a hybrid of many different sports. Its DNA is firmly rooted in surfing, and the boards we use here are surfboards. But kitesurfing can take on an entirely different character in the flat water lagoons of the atolls. A kite is arguably one of the most efficient forms of harnessing natural power. With this simple device, we can propel ourselves across the water at speeds up to 50 miles an hour. A kite will quickly turn a normal surfboard into a personal form of transportation to get you to the most isolated edges of these already remote atolls. When you are skimming across these lagoons, you get a passing view of how alive these waters are. You pass schools of sharks, rays, and a host of reef fish. A surfboard fin has a very low draft, which makes even the most remote islands accessible. Walking on an isolated motu in this part of the world illuminates a fact that is not lost on us. Chances are pretty high that no one will walk on this particular stretch of sand for another month, a year, or perhaps even years to come. This quickly brings the bigger picture into play. A clear shift in your perception begins to take hold. You begin to feel more alive. The ground under your feet becomes more tangible. The air in your lungs, a little sweeter. You pay more attention to what's around you, and you call into question the elusive concept of value. It's times like these where you feel there's nothing more important than being here, right now, experiencing the things that were put on this planet without a filter, without interruption. As we head back out to the pass, we can see the tide is pouring in at full speed. We navigate Discovery through the narrow strait into the mouth of the pass. The surf is starting to build, and we decide to go in for a closer look. Living on a boat sometimes gives you a bird's eye view of the communities that you pass through. Oftentimes, the best way to get to know the local people is on the water, rather than the land. On the water, you immediately share a common thread. Like us, the ocean is their source of life as well as their main source of recreation. In many cases, spoken languages are replaced by laughter and stoke. The people of these islands inhale humility and exhale pure aloha. Their welcoming attitude towards us deserves pure respect in return. The wind's starting to ramp up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then the next pulse is on Saturday.
And the wind switches.
And the wind, yeah, goes like southeast.
Yeah, but
if that's really what happens, that'd be kind of killer.
you might be able to kite it, yeah.
Oh my god. That looks insane.
Where you should be. Give it a chody.
What is that, ribs?
Sometimes you really have to detach yourself to clearly see where everything fits in your life. Being surrounded by nothing but water is the perfect catalyst to form a clear mind. It's places like these that provide fuel for 1,000 dreams. If these islands are left in the shape that they are in now, they'll inspire legions of wanderers for generations to come. People who, like me, will return with a sense of responsibility to preserve and maintain them, to let things be as they are. I believe that the middle of nowhere is a place that wants to exist in all of our minds. It's a place that we all need to be at some point in our lives in order to give our current social life a point of context, a point of value.